Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ball Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about three of the biggest transfers in the Premier League this summer and how I feel those players will impact their respective teams. Before I get into the video, I just want to say thank you for the love and support on my channel as always. You guys are the best. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And whether you're new or not, please like this video to support my channel. Alright, so getting into it, the three big transfers I'm going to talk about is Jadon Sancho to United, Ben White to Arsenal, and Jack Grealish to Man City. So starting with Jadon Sancho to United, it's a £73 million deal for a young player with so much potential, so much upside, who is already so good. You know, that in the future, with the way prices are constantly getting bigger, inflating, 73 million looks like a lot of money now, but it could very well turn out to be a bargain next season with the amount of talent this player has. You know, his key strengths, key skills are one-on-one matchups. Obviously, you know, he's so good at beating his man and, you know, passing the ball, getting an assist, or shooting and, you know, scoring a goal or, you know, winning a corner or something like that. His one-on-one play is probably the most standout part of his game from watching him at the Euros and watching his clips from when he was at Borussia Dortmund. His one-on-one play is just outstanding. And then he's got good link-up play as well. He likes to come inside. If he's playing on the left, he kind of likes to stay outside, stay on the outside, kind of, you know, work, you know, isolate the right back there. But then when he's on the right side, he can do the one-on-one on the right side as well, but he comes in a little bit more to link up with the midfielders and try and create from the central part of the pitch, from the half spaces. You know, and that type of creativity from the wings is something that could be very useful for Man United, because United don't have that sort of creativity from the wings. It's probably a small weak spot in their attack, because, you know, Bruno Fernandes is their creative hope, but then, you know, Rashford is more like he's a end product type of guy, you know. And while Sancho has good end product as well, I feel like he's a guy who can help him build up and, you know, ball progression, which is something that, you know, always helps a team like Man United, especially in low blocks. You know, a guy like Jadon Sancho could be very useful. So going into the second transfer, I'm going to talk about Ben White to Arsenal. So in Arteta's, you know, trust the process, you can see that one of the things he clearly wants is 4 defenders and a goalkeeper who can play out from the back. And from watching his clips, watching him in a couple of games last year at Brighton, Ben White is a very good ball-playing defender. You know, he's comfortable on the ball. He can dribble, progress the ball a little bit, can play long balls out to, you know, the wingers or to the fullbacks. You know, so that in that instance, you know, that's a very good signing for Arsenal. Of course, the big talking point with this transfer is the price. 50 million for Ben White. I think everybody would agree is a little bit overpriced. But, you know, I don't think it's anything too crazy with English tax, you know, homegrown players being worth a lot more in the Premier League. You know, I don't think it's anything too crazy. Of course, a little bit overpriced, but he's a young player. He was on a big contract. Brighton didn't have to sell him. And at the end of the day, in this business, if you want something, you have to pay the money to go and get it. You know, but I would say it's a little bit overpriced, but it could, you know, like I said with Sancho, could turn out to be a bargain in the future. The only thing, a negative I would say with this transfer is that, you know, watching Arsenal, as a whole, their defense is just like, it's so porous and, you know, it's like a virus. You can buy a good defender, put them in, and all of a sudden they look like a joke. So the issue with, you know, a guy like Ben White is that Arsenal's defense is so bad that you may not even see the best parts of his game. For example, his ball playing abilities as a centre back. If you don't have a good right back, you know, making the correct runs, if you don't have a goalkeeper who's comfortable on the ball, then you won't see the best of a guy like Ben White. So that's the issue at Arsenal. Will Arsenal have the correct systems or players in place to get the best out of a guy like Ben White? Because he's not perfect. He's a bit rash in the tackle at times, but, you know, most young centre backs tend to be, you know, a bit rash, a bit suspect positionally. But, you know, with his pace, he often recovers and makes good last-ditch tackles. even just in the couple of preseason games that I've seen in him, the one preseason game that I've seen in him so far. So the final transfer is Jack Grealish to Aston Villa. Josh Grealish from Aston Villa to Manchester City. So he had an excellent Euros, even though he didn't play so much. He was very influential whenever he did play. And, his kind of archetype is that goals and assists aren't, if you want goals and assists consistently, like if you're expecting 25 goal contributions, 12 goals and maybe, 13 assists, Jack Grealish is not your guy. He's capable, but the real quality, the real standout thing about Jack Grealish is his dribbling, his ball progression, winning fouls, and just attracting so much attention that the players around him have more space to work. He can go on the outside and put good crosses in, but it's kind of, just him holding onto the ball. There's always two players, attending to him. So you can either have a central midfielder making a run on his inside or a fullback overlapping on the outside. And it just, like I said, creates more space for his teammates. Of course, he's a very talented player. Do I think he's worth 100 million in the transfer market? No. But he is worth 100 million to Aston Villa. That's what you have to think about sometimes. A team like Aston Villa would not be in the Premier League without Jack Grealish. Like, they would, even this year, they were, last season, they were a bit better, this their second season back in the Premier League. But the season before that, the season that was affected by COVID-19, they would have definitely got relegated without Jack Grealish, like 100%. So a player that is keeping you in the Premier League is definitely worth 100 million pounds. Man City have overpaid, yes, but could they have done anything about it? No. And even the video coming out on the day that Grealish's transfer was announced from the Aston Villa CEO, discussing the situation, explaining to the fans, which are quite liked, by the way, not many owners in football today are that transparent. But it was explaining to the fans how, last year Grealish wanted to leave, but he decided to sign a new contract with a 100 million release clause so that, Aston Villa could build around different players after he left. And, with the three signings that Aston Villa have made with that money, Emiliano Buendia, Leon Bailey and Danny Ings, the CEO said that they had to replace goals, ball progression, and, just all-round creativity. And with those three players, I think they've done that. But it just shows that one player, they're trying to replace one player with three different players. That just shows you how much value Jack Grealish was to Aston Villa. As for Man City, I feel like the thing, the really positive thing for Jack Grealish and Man City coming together is that there's not as much pressure on Jack Grealish as there was at Aston Villa. There's a plethora of talent there, lots of, quality players. So there's not so much pressure on him to bring out the big numbers. All he has to do is play his game, dribble, ball progression, all of that. And I'm sure he'll be a success at Man City. Will he ever live up to the 100 million pound price tag? I doubt it, but I think he would definitely do a job at Man City. Like I said, lots of talented players. He's not going to go there and become the star man on the team. He's just going to be one of the many quality players that Man City already have. Can he be a standout? I'm sure, but like I said, Man City probably have two different 11s that can win the Premier League. So you just have to see how Jack Grealish, if he can stand out in a team with so much talent. Alright, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.